Welcome to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower, brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/your20-minute podcast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, here's your host, David Brower.
Thanks, Allan. And here's part 2 of my interview with Damion Lupo.
So the question is, who do you believe you are? And whatever that truth is what you're going to see in front of you.
Well, that's what I mean. If they getting them to a point where they actually feel authentic and discover who they really are supposed to be, and then bring that internal out to that external, all of a sudden you got epiphanies going on, you got smiles going on, you got laughter going on, you got fun going on. I mean, it's a lot of work, but boy, is it worth it.
It is worth it. It's it kind of reminds me of thinking back 10 years ago when I was surrounding myself with certain people, and I was evolving my inside because I was becoming the same as the people that were around me. And this is really, we've probably heard this in different ways, that you become who is around you outside of your family. If you just look at those 5 people that you spend the time with,
exactly,
you're going to become those people. And I'm not just talking about how much money they make. I'm talking about their level of health, their level of integrity, their everything, their belief systems. The problem I had is that I became those people. I became those 5 people, and I got what they had. I got the very expensive cars. I got all the money, but I also became them in terms of their integrity because I wasn't really paying attention to it. If I had been, I would have run away. And we have to be really, really careful about who we spend time around, and then ask the question, who do we want to be?
Yeah.
And be conscious around it, and go and spend time around those people, those mentors, or even, people, even our neighbors, even our friends. We have to be honest that if we want something different and everybody around us is making $50,000 a year and they're bitching and moaning about their lives and they're not traveling and we want to travel, guess what? You're probably going to have their same bitchy, moany life if you keep staying around them.
Absolutely right. I remember, just a quick story. I remember before I moved to Colorado, I was in California. I just gotten through a divorce, and my 5 best friends, we were just inseparable. We got each other, we understood each other, we respected each other, all that kind of stuff. Wonderful, wonderful friends. And when I moved to Colorado and I met the lady who would end up becoming my wife, I told her, I said, one of the things that appeals to me, and she's met all these friends of mine, the main thing that attracts me to you is what I love best about those 5 people. That's who you are. And oh my God, it was just like magic. It's been like the best gift ever.
It's funny. There's this osmosis that happens, and when you pick right, so many things happen automatically in a way that you could never do if you had the wrong group.
Yeah.
And so just that one choice in being conscious around that and choosing correctly can literally fundamentally almost immediately change everything in your life.
No question about it. So real estate is, you're traveling a lot. You're going to conventions. You obviously have real estate going on as well. How do you keep all the balance of all those balls going on?
The thing that I do is I really look at the highest leverage points. The problem right now is not a lack of choices. It's so many choices. It's so many things we can focus on. And here, one of the things that really gets hard for people, I was talking to somebody at a conference in Orlando recently, and the question was, when somebody emails you or you get a message on Twitter or LinkedIn or one of these million places, these channels that things come at you,
right?
When is it? What's the requirement? Are we supposed to respond to everything? And somebody, whether they have a question, they just want to say hi. Somebody has an opportunity. There's an unlimited number of opportunities and things, and the greatest power you have is the power to say no. It's either to not respond or it's to say no to an opportunity, like all these network marketing opportunities, real estate deals. There's so many places where you can spend your time. The problem is you only have 1,440 minutes a day.
Right.
That's it. And then you run out of them and you can't get them back. So the way that I deal with that is I figure out my highest leverage points based on the big vision I have for this year and for my life. And if things don't fall into that, if they don't fall into that vision and they're not part of those core 2 or 3 things, then I say no thank you. And you have to get really good at that without feeling bad about saying no thank you, or you're going to become part of somebody else's agenda, and you're never really going to have a life by design. It's going to be by default based on everybody else's deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and that's in no matter where you are in life, business, personal, everything. Learning to say no is That's a skill, man. That is a skill. When I was growing up, I was the ultimate people pleaser. So for me to learn to say no, it took a long time. But once I got it, I'm going, oh, okay, now it makes sense.
It is a skill, and it's actually awkward. I think one of the things that happens, especially with a lot of the millennial generation, is they're so used to just communicating via text and via online what they won't do. My experience is that they won't tend to say no. They'll just not respond to a text or a message, and in their mind, they're kind of avoiding things. But the truth is, once you feel empowered with saying no, thank you, it's unbelievable how you change, how you show up, you stand straighter, you're more firm, you're more focused, because you're not ducking and dodging people, and you're not ducking and dodging things that are coming at you. You're just really present with who you are and what matters, and you have no problem in acknowledging that and being truthful around it. So it's unfortunate that a lot of people are just using digital media and these devices to not hold that, to develop that muscle.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, if we want to talk about financial freedom, it's not rental property. It's not cash in the bank. It's the confidence muscle. It's that other C, not cash flow. It's confidence. And you have to build that muscle by practice. It's not something you read. It's not something you listen to. It's something you do.
And you help people do that. I mean, obviously, you don't take one-on-one every other day, but when there's the right person in the right place with the right motivation, they show up and bring everything. You're called the financial transformation expert for a reason.
I do that, and I love doing it, and it's a hyper accelerated process because I will push people. There's two things that happen. One, the people that I work with get to leverage off of my certainty because I can see things into the future. I can see where they're going. I can see where they're at, and you get to leverage off of me. And the other thing is you're going to be stretched, so it's going to be uncomfortable. And the ultimate result is you're going to take years and compress those into weeks because we're going to move through things that you would normally dink around and bounce around with that would take years of your life. So what I'm doing is giving people years of their life back and giving them more time and more open space to actually live instead of struggling just to get to a point that they may not want to get to anyway.
I mean, do you speak on all of this, public events, conventions, all that kind of stuff? What kind of audience do you speak at?
What's interesting is there's this idea that people will, you sell them what they want and then you give them what they need. And oftentimes I'll be brought into events or environments with people and I'll bake in the actual stuff that people need and I give them what they want. So it could be a real estate training. It could be something where there's a precious metals slant or a financial literacy teaching purpose or something. And what I help people to understand is the internal process while we're talking about the external money and all that stuff. So a lot of financial spaces are where I get called in. And then what I'm doing is sharing and giving people the emotional connection so they understand, okay, I've actually lived through this, and it helps them to connect with those ideas so that it's not just a 5-step process, because everybody has a 5-step process.
Sure.
The question is, has somebody gone through something to where they actually get it at a cellular level? And that's the difference. I can actually bridge that divide.
And do you have people that work for you that are also trainers that can help people, or are you the guy?
I have a pretty extensive staff of people that help support what I do. So that's one of the things that is unique about this space. I'm not a Tony Robbins trainer. I'm not a Tony Robbins that has the trainers. I'm sure there's amazing people, but I'm the guy that's going to do the work with people that I work with. That's just how I've set it up. And I will admit there is no leverage in that. The leverage is in all the support people that do great things that I have no idea how to do.
Yeah.
And if we acknowledge that we have certain gifts and we're probably really bad at most other things, and we have other people do those things, we can make a difference in a lot of people's lives. And so that's really my focus right now is finding ways to leverage other people's skills and then doing the work that I do one-on-one for the most part.
Wow. That's what a gift you have, man.
It is.
That's powerful stuff. You've worked hard at it, but it's a gift that you've realized and you've brought it to fruition, and now you're paying it forward in any way that you can.
I think that's really one of the biggest things that we can do. It's the biggest focus for our lives, if we'll allow it, is to find those things that we've learned and be able to share. I don't think that we're supposed to take all our gifts to the grave. I think we're really supposed to give them all out there. So at the end we go, wow, I got nothing left, and that was amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. Couldn't agree more. You mentioned earlier people are looking for a mentor in real estate, what have you. I think you made an extremely important point in that you need to understand who that mentor is, get a feeling for them, and feel that they're going to be a good fit before you even pick up the telephone. And I've never heard of anybody doing it the way you do it, where you encourage them to read the book about you, to really, it's the raw Damion Lupo, and they really get a sense of that. I think that's freaking brilliant, man.
I appreciate that. The worst thing that anybody that's ever doing mentoring work or coaching work can do is have somebody, allow somebody to hire them that's the wrong fit, because then it's just a struggle. And I'm not worried about my ability or what I'm going to show up with. And if somebody is hesitating about maybe bringing me on or hiring me or working with me, has nothing to do with me. It's a question of whether or not they're going to do the work. And I want to make sure somebody is really going to do the work.
Right.
And that starts with them figuring out whether this is the right fit, because I am like an alien when I work with people. I push them into spaces that are like different galaxies, and they'll get a sense of that when they read Reinvented Life, because I've gone through this process. I am not the same person I was 15 years ago, and you're not going to be the same person that you were 15 weeks ago after we work together. And so that's really the understanding that somebody has to come in with, that everything is going to change. And if they're not wanting that, then I am the wrong guy.
Absolutely. And the name of the book is?
Reinvented Life.
Reinvented Life. And I assume you can get that anywhere where books are sold, as they say.
Everywhere books are sold, in any format you want. Digital, print, Audible, you choose it. If you're listening and you like Audible, it's ready to go. Cool.
I'm a big Audible fan. I will download it tomorrow.
Awesome.
Where are you headed next, man?
Next, I'm going to the crypto event. There's an event that's coming up. It's a big thing that's happening globally. This big shift in money, the future of money. Everything is really changing, and I think one of the things that's important is for us to be in the middle of whatever's changing, so that we don't get run over by it. And money is changing, and so I'm spending a lot of time and energy learning about it, teaching about it. If you want to learn something, go teach it, because you'll realize how little you know very quickly. So the more I teach about this,
that's a fact.
It is, and the more I teach, I go, wow, I need to learn more. So I'm investing time, money, and energy into these spaces where the global thinkers are showing up, and I'm learning from them, and so I'll be doing that, and just spending a lot of time teaching and learning. It's a cycle that any great teacher is a great student, and so that's my job, is to make sure I'm a great student. Wow, brilliant! What a wonderful philosophy. I purposely have taken this over the limit because I just love talking to you. I love what you represent. I love how you share your life with people, and how you encourage them to become the best that they can be if they're willing to show up and make the commitment and study and work hard and realize that there is another life after boredom, you know? Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think that's really fascinating that you say that, because in my mind, I'm seeing so many people just looking, they're desperately craving something interesting. They're craving some type of thing that actually lights them up. And I see people just kind of going through motions, and it kills me to see that. So if I can disrupt somebody, I tend to be really good at making people a little crazy the first time I talk with them. Yeah. And then a year or two later, they come back and they'll say, you really screwed me up, and everything changed after that, and I really started thinking differently. And I say, great. They're like, yeah, I hated you back then, and now you really did. You helped me see something different that I wouldn't have seen because I was too comfortable. And if I can do that for one person, that's awesome. Ultimate praise. Yeah, change one life at a time, and just keep going. That's right. Man, you have so many gifts. Thanks for sharing. I love talking with you today, and I wish you continued success. Thank you very much, David. It's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. You bet. Our guest is Damion Lupo, and the book, once again, is called Reinvented Life. That's right. I have to write that down. Reinvented Life. All right. Check it out. And, of course, you can check out Damion. You connect with him as well at totalcontrolfinancial.com. He's on Twitter at Damion Lupo. He's on Facebook at Damion Lupo Official. And you can email him at dlupo at totalcontrolfinancial.com. Damion Lupo, financial transformation expert, and, if I may, spiritual transformation expert. Nice job, man. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Your 20-minute podcast with David Brower has been brought to you by Audible. You can listen to any of David's podcasts anywhere podcasts can be found, including iHeartRadio, the Spotify mobile app, and at davidbrowervo.com/your20-minute podcast. Until next time, thanks for listening.